Welcome in, soul family. I hope this finds you all doing very well. Today we are taking a little bit deeper dive into discernment. I'm fairly certain we've discussed that just a little bit before, but I'm going to jump right in with showing you this card. And I'm not sure if you can really see clearly what this card shows, but it's a log in a river or a lake or something. And what you see here is the reflection of that log and a split down the middle, a break, if you will. And the reason I chose to put the break in there when I made this card is because oftentimes when we are on our path and we are trying to discern which decision is the right decision to make, it's really important for us to pause and take the time to align with the self, align with those higher frequencies that really bring light into our being. And the alternative is being in a place of fear, being in a place of doubt, or in that confusion. And that can look very real when we're in that place of fear and doubt. Because we're really doubting ourselves. We're fearing an outcome that really we've kind of put in place from a perspective of our mind, right? And that we have to see clearly. We have to kind of pick ourselves up out of our emotions. Okay, and this is water, and water is a representation of emotion. And in this case, the water is very still so that you can see that reflection. Because if you have turbulent emotions, you're not going to see any reflection. So when we can come to a place of stillness with our emotions, this helps us to see which is the truth, which is real, let's say. So in this card, one is real and one is a reflection. But when the water is very still, you can see that reflection, right? But it brings you to a place where you have an ability to align with feelings of joy. And if you remember from a past video, this card is my card of alignment. And joyously singing is some of the words on this card. And I put that there because it really is important for us to align with our joy. And this card is very similar in the sense of joyful songs, bird song. Birds don't get caught in fear. They just sing their song. They don't worry if it's the right tune. They don't worry if it's something that someone will want to hear. They just sing. And this is important because it falls back into alignment again with authenticity. right? And when we are in a place of fear, when we're acting out of fear, we're not really in a place of alignment with ourselves. We're outside of ourselves, so to speak, because when you're operating from fear, you're operating from a place of separation, a mentality of separation. And you're never separated from source. So along our path, it's really important for us to stay aligned with the gratitude. We've talked about that. The joy. Being able to be in alignment with those higher vibration frequencies. Because truly, that is what you are. That is the energy that you are created from. And so when talking about discernment, where does it lead, right? So the journey that we are on, if we can align with joy and gratitude, it brings us again to the doors. This is such a pertinent card for so many things, because the doors are opportunity. The doors represent potential. And you don't really know what's behind those doors, but it's potential. It's opportunity. If you can overcome fear of going down a path that's full of your illusions, right? Because if you make choices based out of fear, you're going to continue to replay that lesson. You're going to loop. It's a loop. And so it's very important for us to make decisions from that place of true discernment in alignment within ourselves, so that we can take the opportunities that will then come along because we have acted in alignment. We have lived in a place of alignment. And then when those opportunities come up, are you going to have the courage to step into that? Or are you going to take the different pathway that leads into looping? It's important that you view your choices from this place, because you always have a choice. And fear oftentimes can make you feel like you don't have a choice, like you're locked into something, like that's where you have to stay. But that's, again, illusion. And I went to the grocery store this morning, and I pulled this card purposely out of a deck of one of my other, not my homemade cards, obviously, but a beloved deck that is all about herbs and plants. And I pulled this card purposely today because when I went to the grocery store, I found Tulsi, a live Tulsi plant, which is also known as holy basil. But it's different from regular basil. This is the basil that's often used in Ayurvedic practices. It is a very beloved plant that's really regarded as a gateway between heaven and earth. And this is very pertinent to what we're speaking on today with the discernment. You're a representation of earth, but you also are a living gateway to heaven. And in order to align with that living gateway of heaven, you have to align with frequencies that match. So fear is not, doubt is not, confusion is not a match. And Tulsi is also a plant that helps us to overcome weakness. It is a plant that is known as the great communicator. It is a plant that can boost our spiritual abilities. Because remember, we are the living gateway. And so that's why it is so important for us to stay aligned with Source. And really, this is a representation of Source energy because it is a wealth card. It is a card of abundance. And when we step into alignment with all of those feelings of wealth, abundance, of joy, gratitude, when you're aligned with that on a daily basis, this helps you make better discernment choices, better choices of discernment. And that's why I found it so interesting that Tulsi was the plant that I found at the grocery store today, because I look all the time when I go and rarely do. This is a plant that I would say is relatively hard to find. It's not common here in the United States. So that I found that plant today, and then I came home and pulled discernment and these cards. I knew that this was a connection, kind of pulling it all together. And so this is very, very much one of those, I would say, discussions that, of course, this is something that many of us struggle with. I used to struggle with this a lot. I used to really get caught up in fear and doubt and confusion. And it was sort of like quicksand. The more you are in it and the more you entertain it, the more you stay kind of submersed in that emotional overload, I'm going to call it, because those do have a tendency to overload your system. And then you have a hard time making good choices that are for your highest and best good. You have a tendency, when you are in doubt and fear and confusion, to make choices that continue you in the loop, continue in the loop. And so that's where the split in this card comes into play, because I really want you to be aware when you're presented with choices. Are you making this choice out of fear? Out of doubt for yourself? Doubt in yourself? Are you stuck in a place of confusion because your heart tells you one thing and your mind tells you another? And that's also very common. So many times it has, even for me, been a choice of my heart. I know my heart wants this thing, but my mind tells me you can't possibly do that. For all kinds of reasons. People are going to think you're crazy. You're never going to succeed at this. There's all of these little ego voices that play in our mind when we are faced with choices to make. And so align in your heart, Align with feelings of joy, align with feelings of gratitude, of abundance, of having that knowing that you have everything you need. Make that leap. Of knowing that you are capable, of knowing that you are worthy. This is so important for us to remember because we don't make good choices when we think we are not worthy. We don't make good choices when we think we won't succeed at this thing. We don't make good choices when we fear rejection. Well, there's so many things, and those are all the fear, the doubt, the confusion that we sort of get stuck in when we're trying to make choices. The loops, those looping patterns of not being good enough, not being worthy, you know? So think about that next time you're making decisions, making choices. Use your discernment aligned with joy, aligned with gratitude, aligned with love. Don't align with fear. Don't align with the doubt in yourself, because that is not the truth. You can do this thing. You're capable of this thing. And remember the wealth card. That is another reason this is such an important alignment today, with me finding this holy basil when I went out today. It is the wealth card. He is in a garden of abundance. Peacock, the eyes to see the truth, the magic, all of the things that your heart yearns for. So it's really important for us to remember potential. That's what's behind the door. Potential of what could be if you have the courage to overcome fear. Okay? If you have proper discernment to align with frequencies of joy, of gratitude, of love for yourself. Not to align with the illusion of fear and doubt and confusion. Okay? So that is it for today. Just a practice for you to remember. Align with your truth. And fear and doubt and confusion, those are not your truth. So thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate your presence more than you know. And I just want to send you all so much love. I don't know about you, but I've been struggling lately, and the energies have been really intense. The Schumann resonance has been sort of off the charts. A lot of people are experiencing low back pain due to the Schumann resonance right now. And if that is you, just know that it's not just you. We're all kind of in this mode of things aren't easy right now. And so it's really important for you to take care of yourself, to love yourself, have extra compassion for yourself. Don't forget that I'm sending you so much love. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Comment below. That helps me out too. I appreciate you so much. And I'm sending you so much love. Until next time.